Hi there, Elizabeth from Core Expectations. I wanted to talk to you today about diastasis recti, or more specifically, how to self-assess. I get asked about this all the time. I did a video back in the summer on just sort of what the importance is of diastasis, what it is. So today I just really want to go through how to assess for it. But I want to mention to begin with, people tend to get caught up in the whole distance, the separation of the abdominal wall. How big is the separation, how many fingers? And though we do tests or check for that, it's really more about understanding how the core is recruiting, and what we're really checking more importantly for is the tensioning of the linea alba, which is the connective tissue between the two strips, and its ability to contract and bring those two pieces back together. So yes, I will show you how to check for the distance, but I don't want you to get too caught up in it. If you're recently postpartum, having 5, 6 or more fingers is actually quite common, but there's stuff we can do to help you with that. And most importantly, you want to regain just function and strengthen your core, and that's really what our focus is. But today we're just going to look at how to self-assess if you have a diastasis. So let me show you that. Let's start off by sitting down on our side and sliding down. That way we don't exacerbate any diastasis we may have. Okay, so once you're on your back, I'm actually going to pull my shirt up here, so I don't know how much you can see me, but I'll show you with my hands. And you roll your pants down, because we're going to take 3 measurements. One that's at the belly button, one about 2 inches up, and then one further down as well. So we'll start by just actually moving our hand. I always start by just kind of moving my hand up the midline along the linea alba. And what I'm looking for is, for example, can I dive way in? How soft is the tissue? So if I can go way into my knuckle or something and I feel a pulse, that tells me that the connective tissue is weak and it hasn't regained its springiness, which is what you'd like to see after sort of 6 to 8 weeks postpartum. So just like I said, first, just what is the tissue like? Generally, you'll find it softer in the middle, just more stress around the belly button. It just seems to not come together quite as well there. Plus, that's usually where you get the biggest. And then if you go further up, it tends to get tighter, as well as further down. It depends a little bit on how you carried your baby. Okay, so I'm going to put my fingers in with my knuckles kind of pointing towards my feet. So my feet are just hip width apart and my heels are fairly close to my bottom. And I'm going to put my fingers in sort of across. I'm going to start off with 3 fingers, and that's always where I start. And I'll just kind of put them in just right above the belly button. And as I'm going to put my head straight here, and then I'm just going to lift my head. This is not a crunch. I'm just going to lift my head and feel for those strips coming in to hug my fingers. If I don't feel anything, I'll add another finger. And in some cases, I might have to add another hand. So like I'm actually putting in sort of 5, 6, or 7 fingers. However many fingers I need to do as I come up to feel those strips come in and hug my fingers. Then that's the number. Don't get too fussed about it. Just record it so you have it for measurement. You do the same thing about sort of 3 fingers above your belly button and 3 fingers below your belly button. Same process. Come on up and just see what kind of distance you have. It might be less than 3. You'll feel if you get squished out, then you put 2 fingers in and see if that feels better. Okay? That's basically how you check the distance of your diastasis. The second thing I check for is function. So I've taught you the foundation breath before, and if you don't know it, you can go back and check it before you go to this part of the video. But you want to see if you're able to create tensioning in the linea alba. So as you take your breath in, and inhale, and as you exhale and lift your pelvic floor, you want to be able to feel tensioning happening in your linea alba. So take your breath in, exhale, lift your pelvic floor, and then lift your head and come on back down. And what you're hoping for is that you feel sort of a hardening or tensioning underneath your fingers, so you don't feel that valley anymore with a hug on your fingers, but in fact it just is one solid core. That might not be what's going on with you today because you just had a baby and maybe you have a diastasis that needs a little bit of strengthening and work, but as you work on it and get stronger, that is the goal. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with us. Good luck.